Yes, I'm still here. I'm still aware. I'm still alive. Now I got to go and get cleared through. It's my first day back to work. I should have been back last week, but you all know who've been keeping an eye on the channel that, yeah, I had freaking COVID. And the worst part is it stuck up on all of us. We still don't know who gave it to whom, how it got to where, and all that. But from what I've been seeing, this latest strain's a nasty one. It's running around all over the place. Um, Apparently, it's very contagious in its early stages. So, that's just frightening right there. The only good news was I had both my jabs, before Thanksgiving. I had the one last year, and then way earlier this year, then I had the booster about 2 weeks for Thanksgiving for Chicago TARDIS. And, so boom, I think that's what hopefully lessened the symptoms and helped out a bit. Um, Also, the Omicron variant's running around, and I think that's what I had because, you know, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, from what I've been hearing. I've heard horror stories about people, who've gotten this, and then, like, not even 2 weeks later, they're gone. And it's kind of, weird that we still have these kind of crazy things floating around out there. All right, now, I wanted to stop in real quick because, once again, we're in that grand time when everybody's going to claim they've got some inside information about, who the next doctor is and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I'm not going to make any such claim. I'm just going to go based off things I've seen and heard. All right, I'm not going to sit here and throw names out and go, I heard it's blah, blah, I heard it's this, blah, blah. And also, yeah, RTD puts out that statement claiming they're, right now doing auditions. Bull with a capital shit. That man had somebody in mind, I think, months ago, and I think that confirms what Tanaya Miller was telling us how many months ago, that the next doctor had already been picked and that they will be fierce. Now, I've heard everything from the one lady, Miss Jumbo, or was her, I probably just screwed up her name, Kumbo, who she was in Torchwood. She played Miss Hadabib or whatever it was, the young lady who was acting on behalf of Torchwood, stuck into that thing with the 456. I've heard it could be her. That's another rumor that's drifting around. Plus, you've got all these fake channels now popping up all over Reddit, throwing out names at random now. And it's like, guys, just because it's on Reddit doesn't mean it's true either. You've got to watch out. There was once upon a time when you had a few good sources out there, but at the same time, now you've got all these other folks who are doing it either as a gag, as a, whatever, so, like, one of our favorite sources used to be a guy on Gallifrey Base, and he was legitimate. He was called the Doctor's Trainers, and then, of course, they eventually disappeared, and sure enough, somebody popped up trying to use that handle, filling everybody with fake bullcrap, and they thought, okay, this has got to be the real Doctor's Trainers, and it wasn't. It's, kind of silly games like that you got to watch out for. Also, we know they've got to have a name out sometime within the next month or two, because word is they're going to start filming on stuff coming this spring, which means sooner or later location filming is going to start, and they're going to want to definitely have a jump on that before the press gets a hold of whoever shows up on set. Now, we do know that Tanaya Miller's been commissioned to do a story for the RTD era, but wouldn't it be ironic to find out that they've done that in an effort to cover over the fact that she might be the next doctor? I'd die laughing if it was true, because remember, it was RTD who wrote in his, I think it was his novel adaptation of Rose, that Rose had seen other incarnations of the Doctor, like future, and one of them being a bald black woman with a fiery sword or something like that. So it would fit into RTD's MO if it was Tanaya Miller or Mishkum, or I think, heck, I'll have to look up her name again. I have it saved on the hard drive at home, and I don't want to butcher it. But that's just one of the many names that are coming up. And now, like I said, I have another source saying it's going to be a major male star. Like I said, my suspicion is that if they're going to go all new, all out, and a whole new agenda, it's not going to be a white guy. Why go back to the same pattern you're claiming as quote unquote, was killing the show or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Also, keep your eyes out for the morons who are now saying, because the overnight rating came in, I think, on Eve of the Daleks. It was like 3.41 million, and they're like, it's the lowest the show has ever scored. And I'm like, you all do realize the lowest overnight score in the modern era was in the Capaldi era, and that was the Eaters of Light. And you do realize that Eve of the Daleks went up against a major reality show contestant. Well, that's no excuse. Like, well, if that's true, then Capaldi and Moffat were killing the show back in, weren't they? Oh, so it's like, but I don't blame them for that. Remember, that was that weekend they decided to put an episode out. I think it was like the World Cup tournament was going on or something like that at the same time. So, even I was like, if I'd been an executive, I'd have skipped that weekend because it's going to take down on your average. But no point in trying to air it because everyone's going to want to watch the tournament live. That's the problem with these big reality shows. They're incredibly easy and cheap to produce, and nobody wants to wait till later to stream it because then you're out of the loop, you see. All your buddies who watched it are going to spoil it for you. So whatever contestant or whatever contest it's for. But, well, I got to go get cleared through medical. That's why I can't stay on a whole lot long with you this morning. I just want to let you know, yeah, we're still here. Like I said, I took a little break, got over COVID. Let's see, Eve had issues because it was clearly meant. Okay, it was clearly meant to air on. Yeah, well, of course they went for the Saturday time slot. And look how well that turned out. Oh man. Oh yeah, the Omega files for Eve of the Daleks has already been recorded. I got to finish editing it today when I get in from work. I'm going to try to have that up this evening. We made 2 recordings of it this time, and I'm hoping that, at least one of them didn't have any screw-ups by Zoom. I had Lady G sitting in the background doing a backup recording of it just in case. So I thought to rewatch the other recording along with the one I have, see what got missed, what didn't. And it's kind of sad, too, because I used to rely on Zoom. It was 100% reliable. And now it's like, it's doing stupid things like this on your audio recordings or on your visual recording. It screws up the audio, is what I'm saying. You'll suddenly have breaks in the audio for no reason. Danny Dreyer. Yeah, they're definitely going to try for something gimmicky, something different, probably. But then again, it's RTD. He's been known to keep a level head in these situations, so you don't know. My opinion, though, is, the truth's just now coming out about what happened with Peter Capaldi and all that if you've been reading interviews. But of course, it'll always be Chibnall's fault because he did this, that, these, and those. It's like, people don't realize if you're a showrunner on a show these days, you're just an employee. You don't get carte blanche to do this, do that, do whatever you want. Yeah, I've been wondering if they're going to do a ginger actor or not for the Doctor. That would be interesting, if they decided to. Well, folks, I got to get off here because even though it's a bit early, I got to go to medical and get cleared through so I can go to work. So take care, everyone. I'll catch you all later. And yes, we're still here. We're still talking. I'm going to try to get some more news videos out. I felt bad over the last couple of weeks. But I was congested and all that and didn't really feel like talking. It's mainly, focused on getting back together before I have to go back to work. All right, take care, everyone. We'll see you on the flip side. Remember, everybody, be careful out there, be kind, and we'll see you in the future.